It's taking it. There we go. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, and welcome to another edition of New Orleans by Night, I suppose. We start off this scene with Lilah after making a phone call to one Miss Carlyle's assistant to inform her that she was indeed on her way over through the French Quarter and thought it would be a good idea if she stopped by to report on some interesting events of the evening. As she wanders up to Miss Carlyle's humble abode, well, hardly humble, after all, it is a Toreador, she comes and simply presses the doorbell and waits to be let in.
And not long after, one of Lilian's ghouls will open the door. Can I help you?
I'm here to see Miss Carlyle.
All right, come in. She's expecting you. And the ghouls step aside and allow Askia to walk in. She's in the parlor if you want to walk in there.
The where?
The parlor room. Front parlor. Right there.
Right. She'll turn around and roll her eyes. Oh my god, it's like being back in Tennessee. And makes her way to the parlor.
And as Miss Gill walks into the parlor, it's, elegantly decorated. It's one of the newly renovated rooms in the house. And she'll find Miss Lilian, sitting on a couch, reading some papers or book or something. And as Miss Gill walks in, Lilian's attention will quickly turn. Oh, you're here so soon. Please sit down.
Lilah will nod and make her way over to one of the chairs to sit across from Miss Carlyle and rest back in it for a minute, sort of adjusting here and there until she finally makes herself comfortable, almost fidgeting like a cat trying to get comfortable in a way.
So, did you find the place all right?
More or less.
Good. Now, what was it you wanted to talk to me about?
Oh, a whole cornucopia of this, that, and the other.
Oh. Good, I hope. Maybe.
It depends on what your definition of good is.
All right.
Temper your sensibilities, that's all I can say. So, first off, I suppose you heard about the incidents involving the Tremere and your clan in general?
The rumor about the gargoyles thing?
Yeah.
Yes.
How much of a to-do was made about that whole thing as far as relations between the Tremere and the gargoyles?
Well, I know one of my clan members supposedly went to a few other clans and was throwing around accusations, and this, that, and whatever. I've tried my best to smooth things over with Clan Tremere. We don't really want a falling out between us. If that is true, getting them mad is probably the wrong thing to do.
There's certain avenues through which I've learned of supernatural persuasion, let's say, that Toreador might be marked in this city. There is a possibility, I think, and I honestly believe, that more of your number might be hard to find, and the so-called gargoyles easier to find after your kind start disappearing.
I'm gonna roll to see if she's telling the truth. So, perception and alertness, right? Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just making sure. Oh. Standard def for that?
Yeah, it's still 2 successes.
Yeah.
She is telling the truth.
Okay.
Albeit somewhat strategically.
So you know for certain that this isn't true? That this is an active thing that they're doing?
With 100% certainty, no. But credible as far as threats go. Yes.
Prince was already informed of the rumor. I suppose when I meet with him next, he'll have to be informed of the very likely rumor.
Be mindful that this is nothing that can be proven.
No.
At least
How
not
did
without,
you?
as I said, through supernatural means.
I really, 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 really hope that this is all just one big misunderstanding.
I think it's too large a threat to be simply taken as a misunderstanding.
What a shame. I was beginning to like the few Tremere that I've met so far.
It is quite possible they may not be involved.
Oh, other Tremere?
That's more of a general statement. Not every Malkavian is responsible for bringing bringing ill omens to the ear of the prince, nor for all the axe murders in a single city.
True.
If you catch my meaning.
Well, if there are Tremere doing this at all, I would really like to know.
I'm afraid that that's information I simply cannot garner. I don't particularly care for Tremere. There's too many things that they can do that we can't figure out without being inducted into their circles, and, well, whatever one might have to do to be able to get that seems like it'd be too far great a payment to delve out.
Alright. Well, thank you for that tidbit. Is there anything else?
Hmm. Do you know a bearded man by the name of Douglas?
Oh, yes, I have met him once, very briefly.
He... Have you slighted him in any way?
Not that I know of. Like I said, I've only met him once, and he didn't stay very long.
You may want to watch him. He's not necessarily thrilled with you at the moment.
Really?
Something about being elusive and hard to access as his Primogen. And of course, apparently he's been passed up for certain titles that you've been doling out.
Really? Oh, is he jealous he didn't become whip just because, I don't know him? And because there was another Toreador in the city that just so happened to have done a lot more than I've seen for the clan and the Camarilla in general?
I wouldn't even begin to presume what his motivations were in saying such things. Other than possibly being far too petty even for a kindred.
I'll find out. Perhaps he'll voice his concerns at the next meeting of the Rose.
Maybe. It's of course your prerogative as Primogen. And then there, of course, there is the... Well, I have to say he's an interesting member of your clan. I'd almost mistaken him for Malkavian. Philip Clark, I believe, is his name.
I don't believe I've met him.
I don't think you have either. He didn't speak of you in any way. He might be newly minted or newly arrived or simply just finally poked his head out from whatever hole he's been in since most of us have started moving around in larger numbers once again.
What was so interesting about him?
I was given prophecy, in a manner of speaking, when encountering him, similar in the way I did with you.
And
Made manifest as a hourglass. Time was moving slowly, and it was then shattered right before my eyes. As if there is no time for this one to worry about time. Impatience.
oh, that fun little thing.
Not in a way that can be simply amusing. This seemed almost destructive.
Oh, I mean, I consider myself impatient, but not destructive in that manner. I still know how to conduct myself.
I don't think this one is graced with such tactfulness.
Hmm. How unfortunate, and you're sure he's Toreador?
Absolutely sure.
Hmm. There happen to be a few near Toreador in the city that I've yet to meet. I think it might be time for the meet and greet with the family.
It might be a good idea for you to have a visible presence, and I do know that your kind do have a penchant for throwing lavish soirees.
Hmm. Yes, I have been thinking about a party, so I really must get the rest of this place redone before that happens. It's kind of, I inherited it from my father's side. really didn't keep it up very well.
Well, it's a shame. This place has potential. I can
No,
see
it has
that.
lots of potential. I've managed to get the foyer and the parlor room finished, but the rest of it is not quite up to my standards. Granted, they are high, but still. But yes, the
The
party.
things that have happened here, I can only imagine to wonder.
Hmm, well,
Things that one might see if given a certain gift of foresight.
you think there are ghosts floating around my humble abode?
Well, there are Giovanni in this city, but I was talking more about the past, things hidden, events locked in mystery.
Perhaps. I have no doubt this place has probably seen some very interesting things and probably has a few skeletons in its closet.
Potentially.
That's all to be discovered after it looks less drab and dated.
But in the process, you might lose so much. And she sort of kicks one of the Converse chalks off her feet, so her bare feet can actually touch the floor. As she sort of closes her eyes for a moment. The things that could be sensed here if one simply had the ability to.
Oh, well, I'd certainly be interested in finding out what is sensed here.
I've never necessarily been good at inanimate objects or places. It's not quite as easy to read because there's just so much to be discovered.
You gave me the most ridiculous idea for a party.
A seance?
Oh no. No, no, no. No, no politics. Well, no, no. Not for now. No, I was thinking, granted this is an humorous manner, but I was thinking more of a mystery dinner party or something. If there's really things hidden and secrets and a murder or two that happened here.
A whodunit?
Yes, the idea. Oh, it's simply very amusing.
I will stop and ponder it. Interesting and likely entertaining, but also opening the door for competitiveness, petty squabbles. Who gets to find the clue first?
Yes, it would be very, very entertaining, but I think I might save that for
Well,
a few parties down the road. If I'm going to have one here, my first one, it's going to be a little less eat.
well, I'm sure it will be fun.
Oh, that would be very fun. And who knows, I might find some very interesting things out about this place that I never knew.
Gia will smirk a bit as she moves off the chair and falls to her knees slightly to place both hands on the floor, seeing what she can glean, but doesn't seem to come up with much as she frowns a bit I wonder if I'm down here really doing anything useful or just looking silly.
Well, I think that's all a matter of perspective.
True.
Do you feel silly?
Do you really need to ask a Malkavian such a thing? She'll simply reach out for Lilian's hand at this point.
She'll let her take it.
And she'll guide Miss Carlisle down to the floor. I'm sure that your power of auspex is developed, being a Primogen and all.
Yes. Perhaps. Why?
Well, if that's the case, you might be able to taste something of what I sometimes am able to do without such power.
No. If Auspex is something you want, I wouldn't mind teaching. Perhaps if there was something fair in trade.
Lilah continues to look down at the floor as the words leave Miss Carlisle's mouth, and she doesn't stop, but you can tell that she's thinking about it, and she's just sort of running her fingers over the floorboards. And what would you consider fair trade?
Not sure, really. You'd have to throw some, I don't know, offers up on the table. I don't do this very often, but I like you. For now. So,
She'll pause again and seem like she's intently focused on the floor before finally turning her head ever so slightly towards Miss Carlisle. There are two disciplines that I'm capable of teaching. One I don't think you want to get involved with. In fact, there's many that I don't think we want to get involved with. After all, a type of madness comes with it. And the other, well, it is a nice parlor trick, I'll have to admit, and it makes it a little bit easier for me to move around, given, well, what the power of the blood did to me. But would you really want to hide what you are in any way, shape, or form?
or some sort of boon.
She'll look at Miss Carlisle with a slightly disappointed look. You'll have to forgive me on my hesitance to throw boons out.
Oh, well, that's
I
fine.
have
Just
been.
think about it.
I've just been burned before
I
for offering
understand.
boons.
And we don't have to make any decisions or deals right now. Just any time if you're ever possibly interested in learning something, you know who to talk to. Anywho,
Heaven
enough
help
of
me.
the business. So, Was that all you heard?
It is the main reason I came, yes, and that's more or less what I heard. I do think there may be one or two Nosferatu that aren't necessarily pleased with the roses as a whole, but...
And I know why. But continue.
I just thought that that was a general clan feeling.
Well,
Apparently the Ventru don't happen to like my kind at all.
there has been some clan animosity between Toreador and Nosferatu. But there also has been a very specific thing that happened that I'm pretty sure adds to their dislike for us.
Really, I thought it was just simply the polar opposites when it comes to dashing good looks. And one of the reasons I think that the Nosferatu and the Malkavians get along so well, traditionally anyway, we're very much on the inside what they are on the outside. But not all of us. And she sort of pauses. Not all of us are completely swayed to traditional tropes when it comes to who we find agreeable and who we don't.
Good. But, I really thought I made a fair impression on that House Primogen.
Well, it's possible that it is simply grandstanding in front of his peers. Could be the same said for your counterparts, your clanmates.
True. Oh well, I'm used to not being liked. If there's Noths that don't like me, well, that's just their loss, isn't it?
I have to say I find you a bit more agreeable than them, but I also have a certain... she really pauses long and hard before she says anything more. Kinship.
And on that, I'm going to roll again to see if she's like me or not.
I didn't catch any of what she just said.
Yeah, I said, and I'm going to be rolling again to see if she's bullshitting me or not.
Roll.
Uh,
Because I have some dice to throw at you as soon as my character sheet rolls up.
no, not really.
Oh my god, this is taking way too long.
I probably should bring mine up too. I know most of my stats, like, very, very well, but just in case.
Too many characters with too many varied stats. I could never remember anything directly.
I remember most of the main ones.
So how many successes did you get?
One.
One? Alright. Well, at a difficulty 4 for me, that's 2 successes. So yes, she seems very genuine. Even if she was trying to mask the reason why, it's actually a certain kinship she does feel. But yes, as far as you're concerned, Lilah seems to be very sincere when she says that. Her mannerisms almost would come off as perhaps a little bit in a vassalage way. Those she's coming across very much as the vulnerable one when she says that.
It's good to know I have some friends in this city.
Sometimes they say that Malkavians are slaves to fate. That we're fated to understand it, or at least perceive it. Actively or not, sometimes when we look through the looking glass, we see things, and those things affect us rather intensely at times. They leave an impression on us. And what is your self-control again? Or instinct?
It's a 4.
That's right, you and your freaking difficulty 8. No successes that time.
What were you trying to do?
She was trying to glean some more, be more prophetic. But fails intently, so she's going to go a different avenue. What's your courage?
A 5.
Jesus Christo! This is not a good night for difficulties. Jeez. Gia begins to move closer to her and begins to look somewhat pensive. It can be very distressing. The loss of your ability to sire. You conveyed some regret last evening.
Can you repeat that? It's raining really hard and I can barely hear you.
I also sit up closer towards the mic.
Yeah.
Gia basically said that last evening she had conveyed a certain sense of regret, or that Lilian had conveyed a certain sense of regret of what was taken from her, the ability she doesn't have. And in saying this, I'm going to spend a willpower point. Let's see how this goes. Wits and intimidation. Difficulty 9. 1 willpower invested, and wow! That's a lot of 1s.
Yeah.
You can make a because I'm only going to get 1 success on that, so if you're accustomed to dealing with your beast, you can roll your courage difficulty 7.
Okay.
You need at least 2 successes. No! Yes! Okay, so she just used Fear the Void Below, and it's said that with a single success, it kind of drives you into a fit of terror, as the sin that I'm playing on, or the weakness that I'm playing on, becomes more profound.
Okay. So I'm terrified.
Probably, yeah. I would say that her sort of saying this and her conveying this empathy, so to speak, might come across as, you're feeling this sudden inadequacy and this someone bringing this to bear, maybe. I mean, I'll let you interpret it how you wish, but suddenly I guess the feelings that you have about not being able to sire are far more profound to you as she's speaking.
Okay. Well, you're right. It it hurts. It does. You know, the embrace is supposed to be some wonderful thing that gives you all these opportunities, freedom, and it takes away the aspects of you that made you human, and it gives you all these new aspects and all this potential. But I seem to have been skipped over. It would have been nice to pass on some of my gifts to somebody else.
Gia will scoot closer to Miss Carlisle at that point and simply place a hand on top of hers.
You know, I've never really told anyone that I did have hopes of being a mother at some point in my mortal life. And that can't happen. I can't embrace either, so it's one big Shakespearean travesty.
I'm going to roll charisma and expression, or charisma empathy, I guess, at this point. And let's see how that goes. One, two, three, four, five successes. So Lilah kind of lets out a soft sigh and then looks up at Lilian with almost these earnest eyes. You said that you wanted to pass on talents, maybe even a legacy, I would assume.
Yes, I've always kind of had some sort of motherly yearning, I guess.
I can, if you wish it, I wouldn't mind learning from you.
Well, it would be nice to give someone something when I possess skill-wise. But then we'd have to discuss what I'd get in return.
There is one power I would not be willing to teach you without knowing you implicitly inside and out and trusting you completely. While I probably trust you more of the kindred in the city than I'd care to admit, most of which in my own clan, as you seem to be more honest with me than most others would be. Teaching a power that can bring about one's own inner turmoil. While it might be a great boon in some ways, it can also be a great hindrance, especially if you're not prepared for it. But I would be happy to teach you the power to disguise yourself or not be seen when you so choose it. Along with perhaps a kinship. After all, to exchange power, one does have to exchange blood.
Of course.
But I suppose instead of beating around the bush, I should just simply say that I never got to know my sire. And it would be nice to have a figure like that at least once.
Well, that's very sweet. To be honest, though, I don't know how often I would use the ability to disguise myself, to disappear.
Well, you might be able to change the appearance of your more cosmetic features with very little effort if you simply wanted to be a redhead or a blonde for an evening without having to go through all the trouble.
Alright, that sounds a little tempting.
Works very well for me. And if things go well and you're prepared for it and you want it, I can teach you other secrets of my blood at some point.
Hmm. Give me some time to think about it.
That's the one thing we are afforded with, and one thing that wasn't robbed from us. And that is time.
That's definitely true. You know, it's a little amusing. I was offering the exchange of knowledges and abilities, and now it's you, the one that's doing it.
Seems I'm already picking up lessons from you.
Well, perhaps I'll learn more. Who knows? Like I said, I need some time to think on the matter.
Gita will nod with a kind smile. I understand.
Besides, I don't like making deals without great consideration.
Yeah. In normal circumstances, I tend not to make deals at all. In all honesty, the giving and receiving of boons is, well, it's a tenuous footing at best. But to garner some of the information I got this evening, I had to make a few.
I'm sorry, could you please repeat that?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
No, I asked you to repeat what you just said.
Oh, really? Okay. She had just said that she had to make a few deals to get some of the information that she gave out tonight.
Oh, hopefully it was nothing too pricey.
No. Nothing quite at the level I offered here just a moment ago, but still a minor boon, I suppose. After all, when you hear about your friends possibly being in danger, you have to, well, you have to find out. And this threatened more than just you.
I thank you for the concern for my well-being.
As of right now, you're one of two allies I have in the city. And the other one, well, I suppose he counts, but God, he can be so annoying sometimes. Still blaming me for everything, and not willing to take responsibility for things he did.
May I ask who that might be?
You know him as a clanless Chris Hanash.
Actually, I don't think I've met him.
He's been making himself rather useful as of late, taking down entire packs of Sabbat on his own, apparently. If stories are to be believed.
Interesting.
Apparently, he was working with our Scourge in that capacity. And I've seen Chris fight before he came here. He's very capable.
Well, I hate to rush you, but if there's nothing else that needs to be discussed,
I suppose I probably should mosey at this point.
but I do thank you for stopping by and informing me about what's been going on. Some kindred can't even be trusted with that.
Well, we may not be the Nosferatu, but we in the Shattered Mirror, we have ways of getting information too. And Lilah will sit back and put her shoe back on before finally standing. I'll be in touch, and just let me know when you're done considering my offer.
Will do, and please, don't be a stranger. Come by anytime you want. But please do call ahead. I'm a busy woman.
I do so solemnly swear, and she holds her right hand up. I will not do the in the neighborhood pop in. Although I would like to see what would happen if I caught you unaware, not prepared. Would I catch you in sweatpants and a tank top?
Oh, no, never. I don't believe in comfortable clothing.
What's the old saying? If it's not uncomfortable, you're not putting enough effort into it.
Exactly.
Well, I do believe I've taken up more time of yours than probably needed.
No, no, I do thank you for stopping by. You have informed me many a thing.
I will simply bow at the waist slightly and then turn about on her heel. Farewell, Miss Carlyle.
Farewell, and safe trip back to wherever you stay.
No, I'm not headed home just yet, but soon, she says as she smirks and looks back over her shoulder before walking around the corner and popping into obfuscate to make her way out of the manor.